Are we live? Somebody needs to tell me. I think we are. Can't hardly see that. These are called doggles. Well, actually, they're it's Beamer, the silver one. He was solid black until he fathered 4, maybe 5 litters, and he turned gray. Well, not really gray, just black with a little bit of silver. And then standing next to him is his boy BJ, who is so black you cannot see him. These are doggles. Now, the story about doggles. Well, the story about this painting first. This painting is by an artist friend of mine named Sherry Wallenberg. And we helped launch an art co-op downtown Rogers. And she liked one of my paintings, and she loved the picture of the dogs that Randy took, and they were in the car. Now, Annie was across the car looking out the other window because she didn't want any part of it. So in those glasses, one of their glasses, you can see the reflection of the storefront and the awning. So anyway, we're going to talk about doggles. And I'm going to put this down. I was going to try to wear these. Oops. Good thing it's oil, no glass. There, sort of. There. But I couldn't get them to work, as you can tell. And the strap was too little to go over my head. I just thought that'd be fun. Have the strap go over my head, and I could sit here in doggles while I talk to you. No wonder Annie didn't like them. Excuse me. See, I let it out all the way. And it's got 2 straps, so my ears could have gone through here. But anyway, doggles. They're designed for dogs who, ride bicycles or, ride on a bicycle with somebody. Or for dogs like ours who love to have their heads out in the car so they don't get flying debris and stuff in their eyes. Annie was 10 maybe when BJ was born. BJ's 12 now. He's our baby. He's the only one of the 3 we have left. Anyway, doggles are also good for a laugh. So we would put them on Annie in the house, and wherever she was, it was until you took them off. And of course, we would laugh, and she'd get even more focused on not moving. So anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about today, is how you deal with things you don't like. So let's get this out of the way. Well, I mean, not out of the way, because I think it's very important. And there goes the phone. I'm filming. Hey, I'm on live.
I know. Do you want me to get a flank steak? I got it marked down.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Okay.
Bye.
Alrighty.
It's live, folks. What are you going to do? This is where you are. Vicki Ross Art. No, you're not. This is really challenging for me. There. This is where you are. You're on my personal Facebook page, Vicki Ross Art. Now, this is where you can go and you'll get, if you make a comment here and there, you'll get a notification when there's something going on or I've posted something new. And this is a thing that developed because Facebook loves to play with the algorithms on the main feed. Somebody that you've been friends with since Facebook started and was always in your feed may not be anymore. So Facebook pages are where you can go directly to that person. And this is about me and my art, the normal stuff that I would post on Facebook. Then we have the free group. And again, this is a Facebook feature. This is business related. And mine is called Axully Art. And Axully is phonetic for actually. I mean, got to be funny with it. This is a private group, but everybody gets in, that behaves themselves. But this is about you. This is a community type group where you can talk with other people who are going through some of the same things you are. So there's that. And I watch it and comment every once in a while, but it's not about me. You can post your pictures and stuff too. Okay. I am all over the internet. Wherever you go, I will be there. And you can find those links at VickiRossArt.com. See a pattern? And on YouTube, I do a live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 o'clock Central Time on YouTube, and my name over there is Vicki Artist. Don't ask me why, but some of these names were picked long time before there were conventions on naming stuff. So, Axully.com, Axully.com. Please go there and register. We're seeing some funny things in social media. Facebook is, I haven't even read today that all that stuff was released. But there are a lot of people that don't want to be on Facebook because they're scared of it. They don't want to be on it because they want to, I'll show you kind of thing. And then YouTube has been messing around with creators. I'm a creator over there doing art demos and stuff like that. They're messing around with the quality, like a lot of buffering, a lot of what we call, or what I call, disco pink. Just the screen just goes into a blur. So far, nobody's figured out the issue. So my theory is, they're fixing to make some big changes too. So if you're on my mailing list and you kind of like what I do from time to time, log in over there on my mailing list and I'll keep you informed of what's going on. I try to do a blog once a week on Wednesdays. Kind of missed a lot today. Sorry. So I'm also the founder of the Ideal Art and Peace System. And that is my attempt to share with others what saved my life during periods of stress. And we're talking major stress here. We're not talking about your daughter, the homecoming queen, broke a fingernail. I mean, we're talking you jumped off that cliff, or you were pushed off that cliff and you weren't quite ready and you landed hard and you don't know what you're going to do. So that's what I teach art for. It's an excellent way to take your mind off what is sitting there like a big thing over your head, like a cloud, and you can't get away from it. A good hobby will get you away from it. And if you can get away from it in your mind for 15 minutes, you can come back to whatever it is a little bit refreshed. So that's the value of creativity. And we're all creators of one kind or another. That's in our DNA. And we don't have to make the pot that we serve the beans out of at night. We don't have to make the blanket that the papoose sleeps in or chew the leather to make the squad dress. We don't do that anymore. But it's in our DNA. So at a certain point in your life, you're going to find out that, I don't have anything to do. What am I going to do? I quit working, or I retired, or I never did work, or I got tired of working, or I'm ill, or my husband ran off with Barbie, or, or there's lots of little things that can go wrong or can give you that time. And from 20 to 50, you're pretty well taken up with building the career, building the husband's career, not so much anymore, but raising the kids, driving the soccer, all that. You're busy, 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 busy. And eventually that will go away. The kids will grow up and leave, and they've got their own busy, busy, busy. So you need to start planning now for something to do when you hit that period of time. And nobody really knows when it's going to hit, but around 50 is about right. I don't care what you do. You can do stained glass. You can upholster chairs. I don't care what you do. I picked art, and part of the reason is because it's portable, or it can be. You can do it anywhere. You can do it at any age. It will hold your attention for a long time because it's not something you can conquer. Every day is a new learning experience. Every time you sit down to do something creative on a piece of canvas with a brush, it's a challenge all over again, and that keeps your monkey brain busy. Okay, so anyway, that's what I do. And because there are so many people right now doing crafts and journaling and easing into it, and they're buying expensive art materials like watercolor tins that are $70-$80, and they don't really know what to do with it. So what I do is go back to the basics. And this is something that I did not have. It took me 15 years to get the basics. And once I got it, it was like, geez, I wish I could have started here. You know, think how far along I'd be. You know, competition's a killer. So anyway, the basics of art so that you understand how colors work, how shadows work, the kind of boring stuff, but it's essential. And then in the second half of the class, you open up your goodie box and you've got all the supplies you need to try oil, watercolor, encaustic, and soft pastel. Everything you need. You don't need to buy another thing. So all the guesswork's taken out of it for you, and all the expense is taken out of it because you're not going to buy a bunch of stuff you don't need. And hopefully then, after you've learned about the intricacies, big word, intricacies of each medium, then you will feel an affinity toward one or another, and that's where you can focus your energy on your learning and what you want to buy and what you want to collect. But they all have to do with the basics. So anyway, that's what I do. How did art change my life? Well, for one thing, it made me crazy. No, not really. I was crazy before. But my deal was that I was pushed off a cliff, and my daughter died at age 14. I had two choices. I could either get better or I could die. And I decided to get better and was advised that art might be something good, since I had always worked in creative fields with my work and, sewing and all that sort of thing. So that's what I did. And I went into art, and I lived and breathed it. And I didn't smoke it, but lived and breathed it for 4 or 5 years until I really got serious and started studying with some world-class tutors. And so now all I'm trying to do is pass that along. But there were times when holding a paintbrush was about all the energy I had. But then I discovered the Zen zone, and that's where what I call you get that little blankness in your mind, and everything else goes away. The shirts you need to pick up from the cleaners, or going to somebody's house that night, it all disappears. Whatever your crisis is, or whatever pushed you over the cliff. And then what happens is you can extend that period of time the longer you get familiar and master your craft. Stained glass, cooking, washing cars, it doesn't matter. But when you start to master the craft and you still enjoy it, you go away to a little place inside yourself that you're protected. If you can stay there 15 minutes, you can build up to 30 minutes or an hour. And it used to be a joke. We'd have friends come over and we'd go out to eat. And they'd say, well, we can tell you were in the studio all day. I go, hi. Yeah, just floating. That's what it did to me. It was almost like awakening from a real big, hard nap. And I felt refreshed once I, got my feet back down on the ground. So that's what I'm talking about. The other thing I want to talk about is back with the doggles, is how do you deal with things you don't like? Do you freeze like Annie? Everybody laughs at you and you get your way eventually, because they feel sorry for you, so they take them off and you win. That's kind of a passive aggressive way of dealing with conflict. I'm all about self-help and things that you learn as you get older. Some people are born with it. Some of us have to struggle a little longer. Well, I mean, we all have things we got to struggle with, but not being passive aggressive is a big one. And that's something that women are trained for. Some men have it too, but mostly it's women. Slam cabinet doors, don't speak to anybody in the house, you know, do that all over the place. Everybody knows you're upset. They just don't know what it is. I would like to challenge you, if you catch yourself doing doggles until somebody fixes it for you, I want to challenge you to just say, I'm not real comfortable with what you just said. Or, I prefer to think of it like this. You don't have to take it on. Whatever it is that is making you go blind in the headlights, waiting for it to be over, address it. And you'll be surprised how much better you feel right after you do that. You'll also be surprised at how other people alter their behavior toward you. And most of the time, that's family, workplace people that you see a lot. So don't be like Annie. Don't stand still until your doggles are taken off. Take care of it right then. I don't like that. That doesn't feel good. No, I don't really agree with you. But let's, we don't have to talk about it. So you'll be surprised how much that helps you grow up and decide what you're going to be when you grow up. And so Annie and I and Beamer and BJ, even though Beamer and Annie are not with us anymore, wish you a good Wednesday, and take my challenge and practice it. Just do it on little things, and just play with it, and then get back to me and let me know how it works for you. Okay, I think I'm going to call that one quits, and I'll be out of here. And yes, I